Well, hello, 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 and welcome, my Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your twin flame reading for February, March 2020. I am your reader, Mark Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and Venus in Libra. Yay, yay, yay. So I may be in this one. Let's have a look. If you're new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know the drill. Feel free to comment because a lot of times I have no idea what these readings mean to the individuals. I'm only getting general themes. So I like when people comment and say, oh yeah, that's me, that's him, that's them, that's her. You know, it's kind of cool for me. Cool, cool. And also to my subscribers, thank you so much for helping me get past the 1,000 mark. I'm officially monetized. We're putting together a drunk tarot, hopefully this weekend. Just waiting for some logistics to fall into place before we do our super chat live with drunk tarot. Yay! Thank you so much. So the video in the description box below is a thank you and explaining all of that. Cool, cool. But let's get down to business for this read. This is a general read, right? So please take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And check your other signs. That's why I do Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs for the twin flames, for the soulmate reads, for the path of true love, anything relationship oriented. However, that being said, this is a twin flame contract read. What is a twin flame relationship? Different than a soulmate relationship. What they have in common is they are both soul contracts, agreements that you make prior to incarnating into the body that you're in with the name that you're in. Certain things have to be worked out in each life, so your soul is chosen to learn by playing the role of the body and with the name that you currently have. The difference between the soulmate and the twin flame contract, though, is soulmates, you help each other heal. They are symbiotic and satisfying and, you know, easier in some ways. Twin flames, however, you teach one another how to love yourselves, how to heal yourselves, often by not giving each other the love and the healing and the acceptance and the respect that you want from the other. You can't really give it to each other, so you have to learn how to give it to yourself. And there's so much mythology around these things in a way that the idea that you only have one soulmate, no, you have thousands of them throughout your lifetimes, right? You have many in this life, so the idea that they're only romantic sexual goes along with that too. It's like I have my mother's soulmate contract, right? My father was a twin flame contract. As much as we loved each other, and we did, he could never really give me the acceptance that I wanted from him because he wanted a Catholic, the heterosexual, what's the other word I'm looking for? A heterosexual Catholic Republican, right? And I am a gay male witch, right? So there you have it. And a liberal. So you sort of get what I'm saying. We loved each other, but I had to give myself that acceptance, right? So if you look at all of your turbulent, tumultuous, tricky, transformative relationships, like the element of fire, the element of transformation, you'll see that, oh yeah, no, I've had twin flames throughout my whole life, and they're helping me get better. They're helping me become true to myself, right? Tricky as fuck, though, and that's why we do these contract readings. So though the relationships can be in any way, shape, or form, parental, sibling, friend, ex-friend, right, lover, co-worker, boss, all of that. This is looking at the soul contract, so it's going to play out in different ways for different people throughout this Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign. Cool. Moving on, because it's a contract, we're going to be looking at it with two different parties, right? We're going to call one the divine feminine, one the divine masculine, but then we're going to do a third line of information for the contract altogether, both of them together. So sort of like her plus him equals them, kind of, sort of. You'll see as we go. So when I say divine feminine, divine masculine, we are not talking about bodily gender. We're talking about energetic dynamic. I myself consider myself predominantly divine feminine because of what I do for a living. And, you know, I do like my mascara and eyeliner because you should be able to see my eyes on YouTube. So that being said, we all have masculine, feminine energy. Yin and yang is how I prefer to say it, but it's YouTube, right? People want to say divine masculine, divine feminine, I'm down with it. It's fine. It's just language. So just know we're not talking about bodily gender at all. Last thing, please remember to breathe, particularly my air signs. In through the mouth, out through the mouth, if you have to, because then I'm going to do the same, and we will all be tuning to the silent, still point in the center of the heart, where the divine resides and where I'm getting the information, the guidance, and the grace for this reading. And if you're doing the same, though we are separated by time and space, you're tuning to that same divinity. And in a way, getting the reading from the inside out, where I'm giving it to you from the outside in. Okay. Never said that before. Thank you, I think. Let's get down to business, shall we? We're going to start with Caroline Myss archetype cards, 3 of them. One that will start off a horizontal line for the divine feminine, one horizontal line for the divine masculine, and then one horizontal line for the contract itself. Cool, cool. All the decks that I read are in the description box below at the very bottom, but go check out the other links in between the top and the bottom because there's a lot of good stuff in there. Cool? Nice deep breath. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, particularly the masters of twin flame contracts, please. I need 3 cards, one for the divine feminine, one for the divine masculine, and one for the overall Libra collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract, timeless, though we're going to say for February to March 2020, please. My collective pantheon. So one for the divine feminine in this Libra twin flame, one for the divine masculine in this Libra twin flame, and one for the Libra collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract itself. And we're done. Let's see. Now, before I read these, actually, if you are new to my channel, these Caroline Myss archetype cards can be a little triggery because they have written on them the shadow and the light attribute of a particular archetype or soul power to be developed through this contract that you are in, this twin flame transformative, tumultuous, deal relationship. So the shadow is supposed to trigger you a little bit because it's the toxic. It's the stuff that even if you're doing, you don't want anybody to know, and is often so dark that we don't even want to acknowledge it ourselves. So it's even unknown to us, like unconscious behavior, like when we get tired or when we get angry, then it pops out. So the shadow is what this relationship is helping you heal. Though the other person can't help you heal, the relationship itself is geared for that. The light attribute at the top of the card is what you're shooting for. That's an indication of what the healthy soul power is. Cool? Take a deep breath. Who's our divine feminine? The dilettante archetype. Come on down. The dilettante. Now, usually thought as a negative word, like, oh, you're such a dilettante, like a dabbler. Where, I'm a witch. It's like, working at the Silver Broom in different places with magical retail throughout my career. It's like you always get your dabblers and your dilettantes. Ooh, what does this candle do? Right? So it's like, yeah, sure, it makes you a millionaire. That's why we haven't used it, because we don't want that. If it only fucking works that way, right? So let me give you the shadow and the light here. The shadow on this one isn't really horrible. Pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess, which is okay if you're doing it like at a cocktail party. But even then, I try and be as honest as I can in every interaction. Well, have you seen the movie by blah, 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 blah? I'm like, nope. Nope. I try not to pretend at shit I don't know. Why? Because what I do know I'm really good at, right? So that shadow side of it, pretension that you have a deeper knowledge than you actually do. But I love the light side of this one. It's so fun. Delights in the arts without having to be a professional, alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. So if you have this one, reason, season, or lifetime, it's like, oh yeah, I'm really into impressionistic art. I mean, I could never do it. I never want to do it. I'm not visually artistic in that way, but I just love how, it's a total Monet. It's such a clueless reference, right? Like just a bunch of dots, which looks so much better from a distance, right? But up close, it's a total mess. So, sorry, a little Cher Horowitz for your day there. So divine feminine dilettante, that's, definitely part of the creative family, but more creates an experience for themselves and others, perhaps around something in the world of the arts, whether culinary arts or performing arts or, visual arts or all these different categories and manifestations, which would make sense for a Libra contract. So if this is the divine feminine, it would make sense that she's like, oh, really appreciating, but not a professional in it, but just don't pretend to know what you don't know. Even if it's outside of the arts, you can dabble in other things, right? Who's our divine masculine here in the contract? Well, the scribe archetype, come on down. Now, what these two have in common is they're both the creativity family. So that's actually a plus depending on how things play out. Particularly, this could be a work thing, right? Not necessarily immediately a romantic sexual thing. There are other cards that will indicate that. The shadow attribute of the scribe, think of someone who writes or records, altering facts or plagiarizing others' work, right? In other words, they're either not writing down the information accurately or they're copying something that somebody else is and claiming it as their own. Toxic, 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 toxic. Little Britney Spears action on top of that. Light attribute, preserving knowledge and information. So like even people who are always making sure everything's backed up to the cloud, right? Well, you have to back up. My past life son Anthony works for Apple, so he's like, is everything on the cloud? I'm like, everything that needs to be on the cloud is on the cloud. Dick pics don't need to necessarily be on the cloud, right? They should be preserved for all eternity, right? So keep that in mind, that it feels like the divine masculine's taking notes, right? Recording things, preserving information, which may be to your benefit if you're the divine feminine. And if you are the divine masculine, here's nothing wrong with taking notes, but watch that shadow attribute of what you're going to do with those notes, right? For the overall contract itself, the Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, this card keeps coming up. The thief archetype. Feels like there's a lot of thievery going on, and if we're thinking stealing money alone, you're missing the boat. Not entirely sure. There might be some financial shenanigans going on, but the archetype is deeper than that. The shadow attribute, stealing money, right? Number one answer. Creative ideas. People steal creative ideas every day. Stealing affection or other powers you think you lack. And that's the key. Now, this would be for both of you. So there's a little thievery going on both sides. This came up in, like I said, other readings in this particular series for the Twin Flames. Read The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. My God, that came out in what, like 1992, 93? I had it in original soft cover before Warner picked it up. And it really talks about the stealing of energy, I think, in chapters 4 and 5. Competition for Energy and Message of the Mystics. God, that I can remember that. See, that stuff I remember. Your name, forget it. I have no capacity for names. I forget them like that unless I really know you. So the shadow side of that, pretty icky, obviously. What are you stealing? And it feels like there might be a little co-stealing going on here because it's the entire contract. The light attribute sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen, like your soul. People say, you know, they have no soul, or they lost their soul, or they sold their soul as though the soul was a possession. No, no, no. The soul is the truth of who you are. Akin to the higher self, it's a little bit different depending on who you read. But then the qualities of the soul, right? You may not always be courageous 24/7, but that's a thing of the soul following the heart, or following the heart of your soul, right? What are the qualities that cannot be stolen from you? Perhaps that's what the lesson is here, right? Because you're learning how to love yourself. You're learning how to respect yourself. You're learning who you are through these twin flame contracts, regardless of how many of them you've been through or how old you are, right? That does every relationship. You're going to see yourself and learn different aspects of yourself. And that's why you got to really stretch this beyond the romantic sexual, because a twin flame at work can absolutely teach you and heal you things that would be applicable in a romantic sexual soulmate relationship. So that's why you need your twin flamers to sort of burn away what doesn't serve anymore, alchemize from lead to gold, so that you become the mate of your own soul and then are more ready to be in a romantic, intimate, sexual, happy, healthy, wealthy, rise, sexual soulmate contract, which I do those reads separately, right? So interesting. A dilettante, a scribe, and a thief walk into a bar. My God, am I channeling Buddy Hackett again? Nice deep breath. We're going to ask the angels to clarify. 3 each you'll get. We're going to build these lines equally all the way across. So nice deep breath. Oh, my angels, there you are. Please, 3 cards for this Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. 1 for the Divine Feminine, 1 for the Divine Masculine, and 1 for the overall contract. So please, my angels, for this Divine Feminine Dilettante. What is this is the Healing with the Angels Oracle. So what are the healing angels here? Nah, I saw it. I don't want to see it. I want to do it face down. Please, you send it around again. You send it around again. For the Divine Feminine, there we go. 1 for the Divine Masculine, please. And 1 for the overall Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract, February, March 2020, or timeless, whenever they're supposed to watch this. Please, my angels, 1 card for the overall contract. There we go. Good. You know, I don't need to do all that talking. It's just until the card hits my hand the right way. They're like, keep going. So we've got this Divine Feminine Dilettante with self-acceptance, right? So there's a twin flame indication right there that the angel of self-acceptance is walking with you, that you learn how to accept. Now, the thing about self-acceptance is you can sit there and like write down, these are the things I need to accept about myself, which can be rigorous and a bit of a catch-22. What I find works is just accept what you're feeling, what you're thinking, where you are in any given moment, with the 2 magic words, it's okay. Technically a contraction, it is okay, is 3 words. It's okay. It is okay. Like, it's okay that I'm feeling angry right now. Gives yourself that extra little 1/4 inch of wiggle room. It's okay to feel this way. You don't have to act on it. A lot of these things are not okay to act on, right? It's okay that I'm furious and I want to key their car. Well, it's okay to be furious and it's okay to want to key their car, but don't actually key their car. That's what self-acceptance allows, is that wiggle room to breathe, to make it okay so that that energy, that voice, perhaps the angry or wounded child of the heart, gets to express itself so that you don't actually do it, but that it gets to be heard. Because really that's all that emotional arc wants, is to be fulfilled, felt, and heard, not necessarily acted on. So for the dilettante, dabble in that. It's okay. It's okay. Now, there will be times where you say, but it's not okay. Then you say, well, then it's okay that it's not okay. You get it? That it's always about giving to yourself the acceptance that you want from others, from society, from authority figures, what have you. It's okay that I feel this way. And it may not be the Star-Spangled Banner the first couple of times you do it. It is a practice. But like when people say learn how to love yourself, well, this is learning how to accept yourself by saying no matter where I am, I'm doing the best that I can, and it's okay that I'm feeling this way. Because particularly if you're a Divine Feminine, you might be picking up on emotions from people around you or in the collective of humanity in general, right? So it's okay to let those emotions move through you, to let those thoughts go through you, because essentially we are not our thoughts or our emotions. They are air and water. They flow into and out of us. For this Divine Masculine Scribe archetype, yeah, that means there's no such thing as an angry person. There's a person who's experiencing anger. The Scribe with meditation. Now, this card, meditation, to me has more meanings to it than just, you know, like meditation can also mean contemplation. When you meditate on something in particular, not necessarily in a spiritual context, it can be, well, I really need to soul search and think about this. A major life change. Now that we've got a scribe here who's recording things down, in a sense, journaling is a form of meditation in that you watch the thoughts and you write them down so you can be observant of them instead of them just sort of running the show mentally. So for the Divine Masculine Scribe, to meditate, that's probably more intellectual than feeling oriented, but it definitely feels like for the Divine Feminine, this self-acceptance is more emotional, feeling oriented. So a relationship of water and air, but water and air have a good relationship because you condense air, you get water. You evaporate water, you get air, right? So you think a thought long enough creates an emotion, you feel an emotion, it turns into thought. You with me? Yeah. So feels pretty good here so far. We're not looking at anything too overly toxic until we get to the thief archetype. Now remember, if you're both very, very clear in yourself about who you are and what your gifts are that cannot be stolen, yet you give them away. That's the thing about spiritual gifts. The more you give them away, the more you have them, right? Like the ability to love, blessings, the more you give them, the more you have to give. It sounds cliche, but it's actually rather true. Same thing with wisdom. The more you give away your wisdom, the more wisdom you have to give away. Giving and receiving are one in truth in that sense. So what's going on here with this thief archetype? All right, friendship, which already says to me then that's a real indication of the form of this contract, that there's something friendly going on here. Now, can you have a friendly twin flame contract? Sure, you can make friends with your twin flame, and I find in some ways that's easier because then you just know they're a pain in the ass. It's like, oh, they're such a pain in the ass, but I love them. Right? Like, I accept how I feel about them. It's going to come and go. That's just how they are, right? But you're going to push each other's buttons. I mean, I have friends like that. It's okay, right? I don't have to marry them. I don't have to be around them all the time. But that doesn't mean that there isn't an important soulmate contract, sorry, a twin flame contract there. I meant to say soul contract in place. So a friendly theft, you know, that's an interesting thing there. Are you stealing each other's thunder? Right? Are you stealing attention from each other? Are you sucking the oxygen out of the room when the other one speaks, right? That can be a fun little rivalry kind of thing. This doesn't feel horrible, but we're not anywhere near done yet. We've got 17 cards, I think, to hit the table. And we're going to move on to the 2 tarot decks. Now, we're going to get 2 cards from the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, one for the Divine Feminine and one for the overall contract. We will mirror that with the Mythic Tarot, Julia Charman Burke, one of my favorite decks, one for the Divine Masculine and one for the overall contract. So instead of 3, there will be 4 in this vertical line. So ladies first. Nice deep breath. My goddesses, please, the voices of the collective Divine Feminine. 2 cards for this Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract. 1 for the Divine Feminine Dilettante here with self-acceptance, and 1 for this overall contract, Libra Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Thief, Twin Flame contract with friendship going on in here. So please, 1 first, face down, my goddesses. 1 for the Divine Feminine, perfect. And 1 for the overall contract. There we go. Both face down. Rather than read those, let's get the Divine Masculines in place so we can see how they interplay with each other, if at all. Is it Kool-Aid in water or oil in water? Let's see. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Nice deep breath. My gods, please. 2 cards for this Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract. 1 for the Divine Masculine, 1 for the contract itself. So please, for this Divine Masculine Scribe, I need 1 card, face down, and 1 for this Thief archetype, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract, February, March 2020. Please, my gods, just 1. There it is. All right. Let's have a look. The Divine Feminine. Again, we've got the Dilettante with self-acceptance. And the card of the universe, Shakti, the Life Dancer. So a completion of a cycle in some way, shape, or form. That can mean she's done, right? She's done. She's accepted it, right? She's done dabbling. She's done dipping her toes. She wants something more fulfilling, or it's just, well, that was nice. Now what? Now, again, this looks like it's friendship. This need not be romantic sexual yet. Not seeing that. Believe me, there are cards that will come out that will just say, bam, if that's the nature of this one. So if you are already identifying this in a sexual romantic, it's okay if the cards don't pop up on the table that way. This is going to be different in the collective. What's more important is that you accept it's midnight, right? The day is over. Really look up Shakti, the Hindu goddess. You'll get some, a couple of people have done that and gotten back to me and said, yeah, no, once I understood Shakti a little bit more, that made more sense. Just can't go into it right now. It's too much mythology. It's way too much. Major goddess, though. So that thing of self-acceptance, maybe this is the end of your dabbling and saying, okay, this was fun. I want more. right? I, I had the appetizer, now I'm ready for the meal. Could be. That's what it feels like. So for this divine masculine scribe, with meditation, contemplation, again, not necessarily, sitting in lotus position for hours, more kind of thinking about it, soul searching. What's the Queen of Pentacles, which is the Taurus card in this deck. We're really looking here about contemplating their life values. Second house, people want to say money and prosperity, and yeah, that's true, abundance, absolutely, because we value those things long term, like fertile soil, like bedrock, are values that do not change. Oh, we can ignore them, we can pretend they don't exist. Like fidelity, like honesty, like truth, like compassion, right? Like kindness, these values that we love. Doesn't mean we act on them, experience them regularly in our lives, but there is definitely a contemplation here. So I like that about this scribe, right? In a contemplation, a meditation on their stable life values. Now, the other thing with court cards, and I have a whole playlist called Clarification or Clarifying with Mark, because I do them on the side. I'm going to do one for card blessings soon, probably after this series. But that thing of, yes, of course it can be somebody, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, whoever, whatever, but not necessarily so. When it's coming up in a spread of this kind, it's more indicative of what's going on with the divine masculine or the divine feminine or the contract itself. So there really does seem to be a lot more of introspection, perhaps even writing down, recording in some way what their honor code is, right? What their values are, what their boundaries are, which is just really, really smart for anybody to do. Because that's always going to change. That's the thing about boundaries. Our boundaries as children, which we need boundaries as children. Don't talk to strangers is brilliant for a 4-year-old. Don't talk to strangers is a nightmare for a 44-year-old, right? Because how are you going to communicate in the world, right? How are you going to order anything? Just type in I guess you can type in anything now on your phone to get it delivered, but not really great in a soulmate or a twin flame or any kind of relational contract where you're just texting each other, although I know it happens. Let's keep moving. I want to see what's going on here because we'll have 2 cards to look at, and I find these 2 in these readings to be rather revelatory. We've got the Thief archetype for the overall contract with friendship. So our Divine Feminine card is the Death card, the Phoenix card, and the Divine Masculine, the Page of Cups, Narcissus, from the myth Narcissus, and Echo, I believe, and where we get the word narcissist from. Now, was he a narcissist? No, he spurned a goddess, and was therefore cursed to look into his own reflection in a pond of water and fall in love with it, and then he became a flower, the Narcissus. Them Greeks for you, gotta love them. I love my Greeks. Pranksters, tricksters, but often very floral. So there's a transformation here, and there's a need for at least what? Introspection, which is the funny thing about narcissists. They don't have the ability to introspect, but everything's about them. So, I mean, is there a touch of narcissism here? I will say that the word narcissist is great, big, huge nowadays, because that shit's existed since the dawn of time, since Og bullied Grog for the piece of fire, or, in caveman days. But if there is a touch of that in there, then definitely whoever the other one is needs to reflect, needs to say, am I being the people pleaser? Am I being abused here? Even in a friendship, because with that thievery, well, look, Page of Cups can even mean like an innocent communication of emotion. Innocent, immature, but meaning in its beginning stages, not necessarily childish. Like an immature tree is a sapling. It doesn't mean it won't be, an oak or whatever it's going to be eventually. But as a result of this Phoenix card, not necessarily literal physical death, but a transformation happening, I'm beginning to wonder if in this twin flame, this friendship, an offer of love has been made, or maybe somebody made a pass or made an innuendo or something, and it's like, huh? Right, a little Scooby-Doo. Right? What's going on there? That something is transforming from the inside out. Perhaps what was a friendship is transforming into something else. Now, just because it's the Page of Cups, again, doesn't immediately mean that it's romantic sexual, but it definitely says that there's an element of water here and perhaps an emotional communication between the two from one to the other. Maybe from the dilettante sort of dabbling and saying, well, I feel this way about you and I want to what? Move to the next level. And he's like, well, look, I need to contemplate that because you're my friend and we don't necessarily get along and we don't see things eye to eye, maybe different political parties or something like that. Kind of trading jabs back and forth. Could be a work situation, right? Like, do we want to... my father used to say, don't shit where you eat. And I added to that, don't fuck where you work. Right? Stitch it on a pillow, Grandma, throw it on the couch. Those are really good to live by. Rub your face on the pillow to remember. Interesting line of energy here, considering the two Daughters of the Moon cards are major arcana, which, yes, does indicate the Divine Feminine may have a little bit more of the dominance, at least vibrationally here. But with the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Cups, both court cards, some interesting zodiacal energy there. Definitely interesting. Oh, considering the Page of Cups trying to put out the water of the transformation, I could see the Divine Masculine like, hey, calm this down, calm this down, calm this down. I need some time to meditate, contemplate this. Is this in integrity? Can we do this without being toxic? And the dilettante might be like, well, let's just try it. Although I feel like she's a little over that let's just be friends thing. We're going to keep going. The next deck we're going to use is the Love Pack, the Love Pack, Baby Love Pack. Love Baby, that's where it's at, by Chuck Spezzano. 4 suits in one deck. The Suit of Problems, which is half of the deck because you need to know what the problems are. It's very Course in Miracles based, by the way, I think at least. The other half of the deck are the suits combined of Luck, the Suit of Luck, the Suit of Healing, and the Suit of Grace. So let's see what each of you get, one for each. The Divine Feminine, the Divine Masculine, and the contract itself. Nice deep breath. Oh, my Ascended Master's high. No, it feels like hours since I shuffled the cards, but it was only mere minutes ago. Please, my Ascended Masters, 3 cards. One for the Divine Feminine, one for the Divine Masculine, and one for the overall contract. So please, 1 card for this Divine Feminine dilettante in this Libra Twin Flame contract. Please just pop it right in my hands. There's her, face down. 1, please, for this Divine Masculine Scribe archetype in this Libra Collective Twin Flamer. There we go. And 1 for the Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame contract for February, March 2020 overall, please. A piece of luck, a piece of grace, piece of healing, some problem in your face. Let's see. So again, we've got the Divine Feminine dilettante with self-acceptance of the ending of a cycle, wanting to move into the new one, feels like. Yes, but feeling unwanted. Womp, 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 right? Now, that could be the impetus of saying this, I'm tired of feeling unwanted. Perhaps that's the vibe going back to between these two, right? That sort of stealing affection, stealing attention, stealing energy, and then just sort of stealing away in the night, right? Leaving her to feel a little unwanted. Now, my sense is this is a pattern that's been going on long before these two met, or the contract was engaged in this lifetime. Sure, there might be past life stuff that they've done this to each other before, but it feels like tag, she's it. This time she's left holding the feeling unwanted bag, because the dilettante could very much have and I'm not saying it's karma, it's her turn, but that thing of dip a toe and run, dip a toe and run, dip a toe and run, which can often be, we do that, sometimes we really need to accept that, because we're feeling unwanted, so let's not invest too deeply. Right? It's like the fear of loss, the fear of getting hurt. And if you're feeling unwanted, then you would dabble rather than go too deep. But it feels like she wants to go deeper, right? Or at least wants to end this dabbling, this messing around, and go into something deeper. Now, again, anything overtly sexual, romantic here? Not really, not yet. Could be. Let's see what else is going on. They're saying flip the next card. So this Divine Masculine Scribe with meditation, and, come here you, the Taurus card, you know, about life values, physical goods, durable goods, a car, a house, right? Things that you want to have for a long time. Not just like a pizza. That's a quickie. What's well, defensiveness. All right. So both of them got problem cards. We've got feeling unwanted for her and defensiveness. Now, so he's not just on an island. Oh, no, no, no. He's at the top of the turret with cannons, right? Got cannons on a rifle. So he's totally loaded with ammunition here. This dude's been hurt. He's written about it. He's vlogged about it. He's blogged about it. He really has very, very clear about what he values, what he wants and what he doesn't want. His boundaries feel pretty clear, but to the point of defensiveness where there must be pain behind that. Now, look, we're all going to put boundaries up around our pain until it heals. But sometimes we can put a boundary around a wound and then never look at the wound again, and that's called repression and suppression, which means this shit will explode out of you, right? That the infected material will explode and express itself in some way, shape, or form, usually when you're tired, exhausted, and burnt, right? So Divine Masculine, that meditation that you're doing there, I understand the defensiveness, but she's feeling unwanted, and if the two of you really want to have some kind of friendship here, maybe there needs to not be a total letting down of the guard and the boundaries, because that's not necessarily healthy either, an either or, an extreme thing. But just keep that in mind. Though there are some people that will feel unwanted no matter what you do as well. So keep in mind, neither one of you are really responsible for what you're triggering in each other. I wish the world understood that. If you're triggered by something, it's really not the other person's fault. It was your hidden landmine. Unless you're walking around telling everybody, don't say this, don't do this, don't wear this, don't smell like this, don't look, you know, that's a little hard to live that way. But rather to say, oh my God, I've been triggered, thank you. All right, excuse me, I have to go deal with this, right? Because it's your healing journey, and this twin flame is happening for you, not to torture you. So let's look at the contract. Again, we've got the Thief with friendship, with the Death card, right? The Phoenix, hopefully rising from the ashes, not going to. Something's transforming. And with this Page of Cups, pages are always messengers to me. So some sort of emotional message, maybe it's an intuitive message, but it feels like it passed between the two of them in some way. Either they both felt it and didn't speak about it, and maybe are kind of hedging that within themselves, dealing with that. She in a place of self-acceptance, he in a place of meditation, contemplation. Yet with that Thief archetype there, I don't know, like, are they willing to take the risk, or are they going to get stolen from again? Are they going to steal from each other? It feels like with feeling unwanted and defensiveness in their past, that's possible. So what's the card that goes with this? Self-consciousness. I bet you anything this is a work situation where a little flirtation went down. It might not have, been a Me Too moment. And it does not feel unappreciated on either side. In fact, the Divine Feminine's feeling unwanted, the Divine Masculine feeling defensive. Now look, if this is a Me Too situation, report it, right? We're in that, Weinstein just got sent to jail, like yesterday, I think, or the day before. So, that era is done. Abuse of that nature, we're done with that. It's canceled. We're not doing that anymore, right? So if that's what's going on, you don't need a reading, you need a lawyer, or you need to talk to Human Resources or something. But I don't get that that's the case, and I don't think people would necessarily go and look to a reading for what to do in that situation, at least nowadays. But more like each one of them is being a little self-conscious. I think they do like each other. Look, twin flame, sometimes the sex is great in a twin flame because it's so hot and passionate, because there's usually something off or something forbidden, right? That's why, extramarital affairs and people cheating is almost always twin flames. And that's why when they get together, so let's say one of them breaks off and goes with the other, yes, there are those where it's actually those were soulmates and they had to go through all that twin flamey shit to be together. But usually if the wounds are not being healed, going from one twin flame cheating into another twin flame contract, it's just the journey continues in a whole more intense way. So I can feel that self-consciousness of, it feels like the shot has already been made, right? The warning sound, the buzzer has already gone off, that they're both aware, but they might not know what to do about it. Am I okay? Do I have spinach in my teeth? Did I say something wrong? Do I smell like ass? What's, that sort of feeling, which is totally fear-based, but, you do the best you can. Speaking of doing the best you can, let's get 3 Whispers of Love Oracle cards from the higher selves of all involved. I don't think I'm in this one. I really don't. I lucked out in the Virgo one. I didn't really feel like I was in that one either, but a month from now I can go watch these reads and go, oh, fuck. That was me. Oh, fuck. So let's ask the higher selves. Nice deep breath, please. The higher selves of all involved. Mine included, if needed, please. 3 cards. 1 for the Divine Feminine, 1 for the Divine Masculine, and 1 for this twin flame contract. Libra, collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, February, March. So please, higher selves of all involved. First for this Divine Feminine Dilettante. Face down. 1 for this Divine Masculine Scribe. Face down. And 1 for the overall. Libra, collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Thief, twin flame contract. February, March 2020. Top card face down. Let's see who we got. Now again, Divine Feminine Dilettante. What's the angel? Self-acceptance. What's the tarot? The card of the universe, the world, full cycle, usually successfully completed, but definitely saying it's midnight, I'm done with this in one way or another, wanting to step into the new, yet feeling unwanted somehow. So what's the message from the higher self? Appreciate this moment. Each and every situation has an opportunity to grow and find love. So if you're the Divine Feminine here, dabble as you like, but you are learning something here. If you can really appreciate the tension of this, right? Allow it to have a voice, not necessarily act on it is what I meant to say. And particularly if there's some of this self-consciousness, that could be the intuition saying, just pull back a little bit. Just pull back. Something happened. Something has changed. We definitely see that in the Death card there, the Phoenix card, with that emotional offer of some kind, or at least that beginning communication message of emotion. It can be that thing of, well, let me appreciate this moment then. There's something I'm learning here. This is something that's scripted in the divine plan of my life. There's something going on in my contract here. Let me appreciate this moment because there is an opportunity to grow and find love, even if that's love and acceptance of the self, which is very twin flamey, which is a new term. I don't know that I created it. I'm sure other people have said it, but I'm saying it, right? This is very twin flamey. That's a very twin flamey card to get considering what's going on here. For our Divine Masculine, we've got the Scribe archetype with meditation, again, probably more like maybe even reading and contemplating and making notes and journaling, that kind of stuff, about what their life values, right? The Taurian things, the things they value, the types of relationships. Honesty, technically, then is a thing, though it's also a virtue, right? And yet, through this wall of defensiveness, armed and dangerous, so to speak, at least one would think mentally, emotionally. So, here we go, the whisper of love from their higher self. Embrace your emotions. Don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions. So tricky for a Divine Masculine in general, usually, but certainly in that place of contemplation, can they value their own feelings and emotions? It's very possible that this Divine Masculine has feelings for the Divine Feminine, but is struggling with their values. Like I said, if this is a work situation where there is a flirtation, there can be some discomfort, some self-consciousness, and it does feel like there's a friendly thing there, but oftentimes I'm gonna go Marianne Williamson on your Return to Love. Love is a rose, the friendship, the stem, the blossom, the romance. Separate the bud from the separate the blossom from the stem. You have a thing of beauty that quickly withers and dies, but nurtures the stem. The bud can, the blossom can fall, and the bud can come and blossom again and again and again and again. In a twin flame contract, it feels like there's more of a lesson here for each of them to get in touch with their emotions, their feelings, their honor codes. Is this honorable? Is this above board, or is this a shadow relationship? Yeah. So the overall relationship, again, we've got the Thief. Well, not great, but if it tunes you into, oh my God, only I can really accept myself. It's my own acceptance. No one can take that from me. Or, oh, I have the ability to, you know, to go in and really contemplate on what because they're my life values, not yours, right? So it can be a little defensive about those, certainly. But then in a friendship contract that's transforming, it really feels like, because of an emotional overture or message, this self-consciousness, meaning that I do feel like this is like perhaps an inappropriate workplace activity. The heart of the matter is the both of their higher selves say heart of the matter. Cue Don Henley, because you've got time to get down to the heart of the matter. There is more going on than meets the eye. Recognize what this is all about. Okay. So, obviously you're watching a twin flame reading, you're like, what's going on in this relationship that I'm in? If you really embrace it as a twin flame contract and get that in the heart of the matter is here, as we're learning how to love ourselves, that there may be something here that goes against our honor code, and we really need to do this carefully. The divine feminine needing to accept, the divine masculine really needing to embrace their emotions, and overall the two of them really needing to be friendly about this, right? That there's a maturity that says I'm really feeling this way or that way, and I am certainly getting some romantic sexual vibe here, particularly with the transformation of things. But if it is not that, I could easily see this taking place in many other different forms, even with from parent to child, right? You take out that romantic sexual energy component, then about the basic friendship of even a parent-child relationship going on, things are changing. Like perhaps this is mom, dad, I'm gay, right? Just changing everything. Really get down to the heart of the matter, right? The divine feminine having to accept their own feelings because they can't hide it anymore. Oh, there's so many ways you could play this out, but I think you kind of feel that. We have one card left. Let's look at it. The Healing Mantra deck, Matt Kahn, brilliant deck. One side of the card is the mantra itself. They're all in English. They're not in Sanskrit or Latin or anything like that. The other side of the card is the name of the mantra so that I can look it up in the book, and I will. I'll read it for you. It's not terribly much written in there, but what is written in there is very concentrated, very powerful. So we're going to ask the Ascended Masters, and keep in mind the Ascended Masters gave us these Chuck Spezzano cards, feeling unwanted for the Divine Feminine, defensiveness for the Divine Masculine, and self-consciousness for the overall contract. All three of them the suit of problems. So this is what you would call a problematic twin flame. Not that all of them aren't. All of them are. Nice deep breath. My Ascended Masters of Twin Flame Contracts, please, one card, just one, in clarity for this Libra Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign Twin Flame Contract for February, March 2020. Please, what is the perfect healing mantra that either one of them can use to help themselves heal, right? To learn how to heal themselves, to do this contract, fulfill this contract, complete this contract if possible, wisely and well. In terms of their own healing. There's your mantra. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Libra, all of that. Who you got? Receiving elation. It's a good card. Receiving elation. And the mantra is very simple. I am born of infinite joy. I am born of infinite joy. Now, just those words, infinite joy, our minds can't imagine that. It feels like giggle fits that never end, right? Eternal giggle fits, like infinite joy sounds like a little crazy making. So we're really talking about an aspect of the true self, the soul here, that's being activated, revealed in some way. So what's your mantra? I am born of infinite joy. The name of the mantra, receiving elation. I am born of infinite joy. When elation is received, joy becomes your natural state of being. So there's the thing that both of you can give yourselves, right? Is that time, is that space, that ability to receive elation, the natural state of your being. In elation, you are aligning with the ecstatic nature of the universe to live each moment with renewed passion, and purpose. Elation helps you enjoy your human journey as it is right now without projecting your fulfillment onto the anticipation of future pending outcomes, which is what this feels like. So for the Divine Feminine, appreciate this moment. Work that mantra. Because if you're sort of like, well, I hope, and like pushing your joy so into the future that may never happen, claim that now. See, this is, and Matt Kahn gave it a really good word. What was that word that he called? It's not just manifestation, not passive manifestation. I forget what it is, the word that he uses, but it's essentially connecting with the emotion to tell the soul, I want more of this emotion, please, allowing yourself to feel it. So by practicing, right, I am born of infinite joy, allowing that joy to crop up, indirect manifestation, I think that's what it is, then you sort of infect the quantum field, and the soul tells the universe, all right, more experiences to feel this feeling, may not manifest in this particular contract as a joyful way, but to start experiencing that now, so it also calms down the hunger and will sort of heal some of that feeling unwanted, because you're accepting your own power, self-acceptance, to allow the joy that is inherently who you are to rise. Without focusing on the future outcomes. And for the Divine Masculine too, perfect for that meditation with that defensiveness, right? To drop some of those, at least from within, to embrace your emotions, the possibility of infinite joy. The last little bit here. This mantra is ideal for increasing the flow of creative inspiration. Both of them are the creative family. The thief, by the way, is the wild card family. Elevating the immune system, which is always a good idea, and being more present, right? I am born of infinite joy. Let's give you your overview and we'll see what else pops, and then we're donesie onesie. Nice deep breath. Magic clap. So we've got this Divine Feminine dilettante dealing with self-acceptance. That's the angel of healing there for her about really the end of a cycle. The card of the universe, Shakti, the life dancer. Do remember to Google that name, Shakti, S-H-A-K-T-I, Hindu goddess, you'll get why. Because there is some feeling unwanted there, but if she can appreciate this moment and receive elation, allow herself that process, she can really heal what needs to be healed within herself, and a wonderful way to do so, a joyful way to do so. For the Divine Masculine Scribe in this contract, is probably writing things down, probably keeping a journal in some way, documenting his experience, but still that contemplation, meditation there with the Queen of Pentacles, that Taurian second house light values thing, probably really getting some mental clarity for themselves while in a phase of defensiveness. Probably not letting anybody in. I don't know if he's firing warning shots, but definitely his dukes are up, probably because of past pain, does not want to get hurt again. And so what is the whisper of love here? Embrace your emotions. Don't push your feelings down or judge your emotions, which in a thief contract means that, you know, there is this kind of tug of war here. Again, they could be stealing from each other. But in but this is definitely starting as a friendly thing, or at least has that as a foundation. Maybe a kiss was stolen. Maybe something went on that neither one of them want anybody else to know about, that it's kind of on the sneaky. But it feels like what can't be stolen here is the love that is inherent within both of them as souls, right? And that the lesson is their own. Hers through self-acceptance, his for real contemplation of his own values. Keeping in mind the two tarot cards in this third line, we've got the Phoenix, right? Rising from the ashes, going to the ashes, that process with the Page of Cups. So something is definitely transformed here in this contract, but leaving them both somewhat self-conscious, not sure what to do, not sure how this looks, which does lead me to think this is a friendship that took a turn. Maybe they slept with each other, maybe they didn't. Gotta say, am getting that vibe here, but not feeling that so much falling in love deal, but they need to get to the heart of the matter. There's more going on here than meets the eye. Recognize what this is all about. So if both of them can work the receiving elation mantra, I am born of infinite joy, we're seeing them give to themselves what they might very well want in each other, relieving some of this pressure and allowing this twin flame contract to either evolve or for a friendship to be maintained, though perhaps turbulent and tricky at times. Well, there you have it, my Libra collective. It would make sense. You're learning how to balance this, right? Libras, this is a partnership, right? Libra, 7th house, all about the, one thing in relationship to another, as well as yourself and your shadow self, right? Your left and right brain, your heart, your head. A lot of that juggling, balancing going on in the world in general right now. Why wouldn't it? Be in relationships across the board. So just remember that mantra. You are born of infinite joy, but sometimes it takes a little work and some tears in order to uncover that truth experientially within your own energy field, right? So may this Libra collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign be blessed with all that it needs for February to March. This is the tricky twin flamer here. I get it, but wishing you the very best and the very best and the very blessed of this contract moving forward. So good luck with all of that. Again, if you need, this is a general reading. If you need more specifics, my info is in the description box below. Reach out. I'm doing Facebook readings, Skype readings, telephone readings, and if you're nearby or anywhere near Riverhead, Long Island, we can book something face-to-face. Cool. Well, I'm going to sign off as I always do, wishing you the very best and the very blessed of February, March in your twin flamers, but for now, my Libras, hail, farewell, and blessed be.